I'm live. I still have to figure out. Okay, let me see. I still have to figure out the backdrop situation because, like, I don't think I want my bed in this, but I guess this could work for now. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. It's cute. I think it's authentic. Yes, it's authentic. Welcome, welcome. I am going live. I am going to do this whole episode from here. And I am Dr. LocGenie, aka Danielle. And I'm gonna tell y'all now, I'm gonna be looking at myself. So I have to get used to this because it's hard not to, like, check yourself out and make sure everything's okay. So this is my first time officially going live. So I'm excited. Let's make sure I get everything. I'm sure people can hear me. I don't even. I think I have one viewer right now. I can ask, can you hear me? But if you can't, I'll work on that for the next live. Which I plan to do these every. Of course, today isn't Monday, but I would like to do these on Mondays. Um, Even though it's Sunday, we're gonna see how Sunday goes, and from there we'll decide. Like, do I do this on Sundays or Mondays? But I'm excited. Yes. So we're gonna get into what we're gonna be talking about. Um, because I'm just not gonna be on here looking at myself. Basically, get it together. So give me a second. I should already have this organized. All right. So a little bit about me. And first of all, welcome to the first episode of Layman's Terms with Dr. LocGenie. I decided to call it Layman's Terms because my goal always is to break things down so they're simple and people can understand it. I don't like doing things that are too hard. I like for things to be basic, straight to the point. And that's what this is about. This podcast is about. We're breaking things down in its simplest form so that anybody can understand it. All right. But we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. We're going to be talking about beauty. We're going to be talking about business, personal growth, and experience, and building, a life on your own terms. So, yes, I'm a single mother. I have an 11-year-old boy. I'm a boy mom. I'm from St. Louis, and I actually left St. Louis when I was about 18 and moved to Philadelphia. And I was actually like modeling and trying to like figure my way through, life as a young adult. Um, I was in Philly, I modeled, and I went to cosmetology school. And from there, the goal was to transfer to, my cosmetology credits to Sacramento and pick up where I left off. But unfortunately, they were not trying to transfer the credits. So I ended up kind of just drifting away from that because I didn't want to start completely over. Had a child, went to college, and then this spent the block. I've always done hair. Oh my God, I did starter locks when I was like 15. That was like the easiest thing to do is starter locks or retwist. And so I decided to start my business in that. And it's so funny because me starting my business happened on like a humbug, if you know what I mean. And I must have left work early and I needed to run to the mall before it closed. And I go to the mall during lunch on a Wednesday and it is just completely packed. So I'm like, why ain't everybody at work? Why am I the only one leaving work? everybody's off on a Wednesday at the mall kicking it. I'm told there was no parking spots or anything. And this is like a regular weekday, ain't no holiday or anything. College ain't out. It was just a regular day. And at that point, I knew I wanted freedom and I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do. And so I just sat down and I brainstormed. And before I brainstormed, I had already had a business type of mind frame. So I was already learning about marketing, learning about business, and I must have took like a theory type MBA course, and it just sent me on a whole nother path where now I'm at work building this business. I came up with the name. I decided, hey, I've always been good at locks. I've always been good at locks. I have a picture when I was like 10 years old with crochet locks I had put in my hair. So I've always done this. So to see it come back full circle was amazing for me. It's like still a shocker to this day. But I went ahead and I brainstormed and um, in the midst of me starting a business, I was like, well, I need to have locks. I want to fit in. And I was like, oh, I'm a single mom. I can't afford lock extensions at the time. Only one person from the research, which is Mukisa in Atlanta, they were the only one doing lock extensions, and she was so far away, and I just couldn't afford it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure this out on my own. So of course, I went to YouTube University, and I just typed in how to, make lock extensions, and this girl popped up, and she was like in a room like this. She was just like this. She was in her room and she kept it so simple. She grabbed some fro hair and she grabbed the crochet tool. I think she had like a two-prong tool. And she literally just kept the tool going back and forth through the fro hair. And as it went back and forth, she would rotate it a bit to create the shape. I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I went and I bought like some really cheap Afro kinky hair from like the beauty supply, and I ordered a crochet tool from Amazon. And yeah, the rest is history. I started making locks, and what I would do is I would make them and then I would sell them on eBay. So because at that time you can go on eBay and buy human hair locks. So I'm like, okay, they're not human hair, they're synthetic, but because they're synthetic, I'll sell them at a cheaper price. So I would just make them for practice and then I would sell them. And then I ordered human afro hair and I started making the human hair ones. And I was doing this for like 6 to 8 months while I was working because I had a job. I just was making the locks and I would, sell them to make money while I'm practicing. So I started doing human hair, and then now I'm learning marketing. I've already built two online websites that I've been testing the skills that I learned or whatnot. So at this point, I'm like, okay, it's time to really organize the business. So I organized everything, had everything set up, my booking site, and all of that. And then I started to advertise from the marketing I took. I started to advertise instant locks and lock extensions. And I was like, I can do this now. I done put in all this work making these locks. I can do this now. So I got my first client. It was an older white lady who owned a dispensary, tree dispensary here in Sacramento. And well, in Sacramento, I'm in LA now, but in Sacramento. And she was like, oh, I want to fit the look. I'm tired of coming to people's house. And they're like, oh, Granny's delivering the situation. And she was just like, I want to fit in. I want to have locks. And I just don't know how to do it. And I was like, I'm your girl. Now, mind you, her hair was as long as mine. Okay. So her hair was about this long. Actually, okay, I'm lying. It stopped about right there, but it was very long. And she was like, I don't want them too small. And I was like, she don't want them too big. So I was like, perfect. So I instant locked all of her hair and I charged her $900. Okay. I made $900 from doing this lady's instant locks and giving her locks. Fast forward, she ended up selling the business, moving to Hawaii. And I'll never forget when she became my client, she had just bought a 2015 Mustang. You guys, fast forward maybe 4, 5 years later, she moved to Hawaii, got rid of everything, sold me her 2015 Mustang for like $4,000. I was like, wow, the universe be universing. But yeah, and after that, I just would get a lot of calls while I was at work for people to get their hair done, and I was just like calculating how much I could be making. I even created me a whole menu where at least I was at minimum booking one service, one of each service I was offering every month. I would be able to cover my bills. So I saved up, and I think I was getting my taxes soon too. I saved all that up and I switched over from my corporate job, and I switched over to doing hair. And I ended up finding me a salon suite in Sacramento, and that's kind of how I got started. I stayed consistent, just kept doing the marketing, kept keeping these different options of services open. I only specialize in dreadlocks, but there's so many different dreadlock services you can offer when you're first starting. From starter locks to retwists to interlocking to faux locks, um, your basic retwist and styling. I mean, that's 5 different services. You should be able to book 5 of these services once a month at minimum. And I already had money saved up. So whatever was coming in on top of that, which was easier for me because I knew I had like 3 months of rent saved up. So I was good. And so that's how I did it. And as the extension and crochet service got more popular, I would kind of just trickle off some of the services that were kind of there to give me the option of making money until the other, services picked up, and it just took off. I started doing more and more installs to stay consistent, word of mouth, and just being available and mastering the technique. When I first came out, I wasn't trying to teach a class, and everybody wanted me to teach them. And I'm just like, I have to master this first before I can, teach someone. And that's just ideally how it goes. If you want to be a master or considered an expert at something, then you definitely have to put in the hours. And for me, 10,000 hours um, is about 800 appointments, 800 installs, and yep, your girl's an expert. So now we're here, and now I'm ready to share everything that I've learned, the mistakes, the trials, the tribulations, the growth, the mentality, and the mind frame um, that I had and what I elevated to as the business began to grow. And yeah, that's pretty much Dr. LocGenie and how I got started. And yeah, so I've been managing the business, Dr. LocGenie. I was able to expand and open up the salon, which is the Loc Bar. Um, and then I have my brand of products, Dr. LocGenie lock products made exclusively for locks. And then I'm a mommy too. So that's how I got started. Hope that wasn't too much or whatnot. And from there, I was able to build the Loc Bar, which is my baby, because it's just the whole goal when I started my business. I always said, I didn't ask for a specific business. I just said I wanted to help people. I wanted to give back. I don't know in what capacity that would have been, but learning now it was in this capacity. But I didn't ask for a specific thing. I just wanted to be successful. I want to help people. I want to give back. I want people to know who I am. And so that's how the Loc Bar came about. And the name really comes because we do everything locks. Whatever you need. Okay, then we don't cater to sister locks right now. But as soon as I'm able to find someone, we will add that too. But we are a bar for everything locks. And that's where the idea comes from. And I love the concept of that. And it goes so good with Dr. LocGenie. Dr. LocGenie makes things happen, that she makes the impossible happen. And then you can come to the Loc Bar and get the possible. right? Opening a salon wasn't hard because by the time that I had decided to open it, um, it came to a point where I couldn't service everyone. And now people are just left in the lingo, trying to figure out where they will go to get their follow-up appointments. And so that's when I knew it was time to train people with what I've already learned and what I already know, and then put them to work in the salon to be able to take the follow-ups. And then from there, they were also trained in starter locks and all the other services that make the Loc Bar what it is. And now they're able to service all different lock clients, not just my follow-ups. And that's kind of how it happened. I built a system where they don't really have to worry about like booth rent or anything like that. It's set up to where, you just be available to represent me, and I'll make sure that um, you get what's rightfully owed to you. So, yeah, that's the Loc Bar. I love it. It's amazing. There are challenges that come with it. And most of those challenges is understanding, and it's a mental thing that you work for your stylist. I work for my stylist. I tell them, I said, you guys are my boss, okay? It's my job to make sure there's clientele flowing in. It's my job to make sure all you have to do is come to work and smile, which is different from your traditional salons. But I like to do things different. It just makes sense for me. It's more beneficial for everyone. And yeah, and my employees, my stylists, they are amazing. I don't even call them employees because we're all leaders. We all have our own brands within the Loc Bar. So, I'm Dr. LocGenie, then we have Beauty Marco, and then we got two Shan Twist. So yeah, they trained under me, but I'm also training them to be entrepreneurs in their own right. So yes, I love my team. They're amazing. We did have a couple of hiccups where, some people didn't fit, and that's okay. We carry ourselves on customer service, being kind, being nice. Um, we treat people how we want to be treated. I worked in customer service for like 15, 20 years. So it's very important to me that we make people feel good about doing business with us. Now, will we be ran over or talked to like maids or servants? No, not at all. Not at all. And we handle those type of people with kindness. We just block you from booking, because we have superior service. We have a nice salon. We have services that is hard to find anywhere else. We have a low cancellation rate. We're always available. And I mean, you can't beat that. Our prices are amazing and they only going to get better. And so, yeah, I love my team. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah. So a lot of people are usually worried like about like burnout. How people start businesses and before you know it, 2 or 3 months, they're just like not operating. And I will always tell people it gets discouraging, it gets heavy. But that's with any job, that's with anything you're doing, with any work you have. You're going to have times where it's high and highly stressful, but you got to push through it because you have a lifestyle and a life to maintain. So, as long as you're persistent, you keep working and you are available in this industry, the key is to be available. You don't even have to be that good. Okay. Be available. People need stylists that are available. Someone that's consistent, has good work ethic, treat people kind. Your work might not be all that good, but if you're showing up, you're available, you're kind, you're giving people a good experience, not because you're getting paid, but because it's just the humane thing to do is to be kind. You will reap the benefits and you will grow and your skill will automatically get better. The skill automatically gets better with time because you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So, if one thing I can tell my students or people that I'm going to be training is don't get too caught up in the technique. Be available, work on the work ethic, the discipline, the patience, self control. You have people and clients that will reach out to you just to see if they can trigger you and get you to step outside of your business zone. So just definitely be aware of that because they be trying it. But overall, it's amazing. This freedom, like the fact that I was able to move to LA, to expand my business, it's just proof. I started in Sacramento. I have no friends out there to support my business or anything like that. I literally got it out the mud. And I mean, I had no advantage, and if I can start in a city with not that many Black people who have locks and I'm still able to grow and expand, you can do it too, no matter where you are, especially if you're in a metropolitan area with more people that are prone to having locks. Oh my God. But yes, this first episode was fun. I don't want to talk too much. I'm very much so critique this video and figure out how I can be better for the next episode. But I like the authenticity of it all because it's like this is the first episode. We see all the mistakes, we see everything, and it's authentic. So we can come back to this 6 months, a year later, and be like, whoa. I definitely won't be in this room, but I figured it was time to start. It was no more excuses. I was just making excuses of why. Oh, I'm gonna get it started. I'm gonna do this. I'm not ready. I want to have somebody. No, it's time to do it now. And the first episode was basically me introducing myself so people can know who I am, what I'm about, what I do. And yeah, so I'm still kind of shy of seeing myself, but I think I'm gonna try to find a way to where I can put the camera up here where I'm kind of like looking up versus kind of like this because I don't know. I think I like to look up, but thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 1 of Layman Terms with Dr.LocGenie. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment. Don't be too rough, y'all. This is the first episode, okay? I'm gonna get my back. I'm gonna get it together. Okay, I might get a green screen and have Dr.LocGenie logo on the back. I don't know. I'm coming up with something. But let me know what topics you'd like me to cover. If there's anything you want to talk about or learn when it comes to locks, business, entrepreneurship, being a single mommy, and running a business, all of that, I got you guys. I'm dropping tea. And I will also be um, offering courses on how to do what I do. It's one thing to talk about what I've done, it's another thing to offer an opportunity for people to go through what I went through without the struggles, get straight to the point. One thing about me, y'all don't know from these courses, I get straight to the point. Ain't no gibberish talking. Look, do this, do this, do this, and you will be successful. And I'm gonna tell you everything that I learned. Okay, so yeah, make sure you guys subscribe. We're trying to get the subscribers up. We got a lot right now, but we can use more. We reached 1 million views total with all the views, with all the videos that I've posted since I've been on YouTube. But I also realized that you have to have 100,000 subscribers. Hey, day 1, I believe that this could really take off, and sometimes you just got to do it. Y'all are seeing and learning from me right now because, baby, I literally just did it. I said, you know what? I don't care how I look. I don't have no makeup on. This is what it's going to be. All right. So thank you. Peace out. It's your girl, Danielle, and I'm out of here. Deuces. I really said deuces. Gotta get that together.